Hey team, welcome back to the Three Hamster Boys podcast. I'm Alexander, joined by Nick and our father, Jeff. Welcome to another episode. Today is going to be a kind of a fun thought experiment one. I think we talked about this in some of the previous episodes, but sometimes we just like doing silly sort of conversations that get us thinking about like characters and media and maybe how they'd interact with each other. But before we get too deep into that, Nick, what are we drinking today?
It feels good to be back.
Back in the driver's seat.
I felt I didn't have as much influence last episode.
Right.
I didn't feel like I had my duty, you know? And now it's back. So today we have the pleasure of experimenting with tequila. One of the liquors that we haven't really been able to get our hands on. We were looking around, trying to get like a local one, and thankfully we have this one, which is from Virginia Beach, which is
Chesapeake Bay Distillery.
Yep, absolutely. We did not go there. We sent a spy, aka a close like family friend, over there to procure such a thing, and she had a great time. She said that the folks there were incredibly nice, and they were actually interested in like shouting, us out on our podcast, which is kind of cool. But nonetheless, we will be tasting a few of them throughout our next few episodes, and we are beginning with a very fun one, which is a tequila with smoked ghost pepper flavors.
Infused, yeah. This particular distillery has, they infuse a lot of flavors into their liquors.
Yeah.
And so I saw this one. Number one, there's not a lot of tequila producers, distillers in Virginia.
Hard to get in Virginia.
Yeah. So when I saw this one and I saw how interesting
for its tequila.
yeah, not a cactus growing.
Yeah, it's like we could get a lot of wine. There's a lot of breweries around here, but tequila.
We can get bourbon and whiskey.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
bourbon
yeah,
and whiskey.
yeah.
But tequila is kind of a rarity.
But
Which is fun, yeah.
we have a rare version of tequila, I'd
Yeah.
say. I'm looking forward to this. And as our usual liquors go, I like to start us off by actually being able to taste the liquor digestibly, like sippably, as the gin and tonic in the past, and the daiquiri with the
Rum.
With the rum. So we have a simple margarita, which is just the tequila, Cointreau, and some lime juice, and a little salt rim, which I learned how to do. I'm learning so many things doing all this stuff.
Wait, margaritas are... I feel like this is just like showing my intelligence here. Margaritas are literally just tequila and lime juice.
And an orange liquor.
And
And orange liquor. Oh, okay. I was like, that
And
feels
then
like it's too simple.
Yeah, usually you also throw it on rocks, but I forgot to bring the ice.
That's okay.
That's fine.
It should do the job. It sometimes recommends agave syrup as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can zhuzh it up as like more or little as you want. I went for the bare bones to make it digestible that we can sip.
Yeah,
like
a lot of bars will add simple syrup to make it sweeter.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Or put it in a frozen...
Yeah,
They might
or
freeze it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Alright.
let's begin.
Cheers, team.
Salt everywhere.
The salt just fell.
The explosion of salt. That's good. I like it.
I love the salt on the side. I've always had.
Oh, wait a sec. I'm kind of
There's a lot going on right now.
I'm kind of feeling it now. Hold on.
It's so warm.
Oh my gosh.
It's so warm.
That pepper does play.
This feels weird because you're right. The flavor profile that I would describe it is like warm, not necessarily spicy. Like it is a similar but not the same exact feeling of drinking something like a bourbon or a scotch that kind of like warms you up as you drink it. This one is just kind of like warm in the back of my throat, and it's just staying there.
I also feel it in the back of my nose, the top of my mouth too.
fascinating.
Very fascinating.
Not what I would expect from a tequila,
No.
but I don't mind it. Actually.
No, I like spicy things, so I'm really liking it.
I'm with you.
I don't like spicy things, but I like this. I think this is fun. Speaking of fun, let's talk about today's episode. We wanted to do something a little weird, and we were doing our typical family brainstorm at the dining room table. And I will give all the credit to Nick because he deserves it. We were sitting there, and I think I was like, mythical creatures. Let's talk about mythical creatures. And Nick was like, give me more. I want more. Like, give me something more specific to latch onto. So what Nick has determined, and I think we all agreed, we are going to be making our quite literal fantasy/fiction 3v3 basketball teams here. I think I think we all have given ourselves some sort of like code to stick to. And we've either like followed that or whatever, just to make it a little more interesting. And I think most of us have veered away from like the super obvious, super like overpowered. Like we talked about, none of us added a speedster like the Flash or like Sonic, which would kind of make the game invalidated, basically.
Kind of boring.
Yeah. Kind of boring. And I think in terms of like anime, I think most of us also like shined away from like big shonen. Like we're not having a Goku instant teleportation, instant transmission into the hoop. Yeah. So as always, I guess Dad, let's have you start, and you can talk about your kind of rules.
Yeah. So what I did was, as I said, I want this to be less about the superpowers and more about the characters.
Okay.
So I picked 3 women Marvel characters.
Can we also say real quick the order of what
Sure.
we're doing?
So the first thing we're going to do is, the three roles we're doing are the point guard, a center, and a shooter.
Yeah.
And so the first one we're going to do is the point guard. And so I also wanted the characters to seem more like normal characters rather than really superheroes. Or super villains.
All right.
So it's like you're catching them in their like casual moment.
You're
Is
like
that what
actually
you're
making a basketball
I'm
team.
actually making a basketball
like, yeah, they're superheroes, but like I don't know, they're just hooping right now.
Yeah. So
okay.
So here's my first one, my point guard. So when I thought of this, I thought of a point guard does 2 things. They basically dribble the ball and pass it to assist other people. They also do a lot of steals, so they have to have really good hands.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking a juggler or a thief.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't they typically need to be like tall too?
No. Point guards are the shortest people on the court.
You're destroying my basketball knowledge here. My team is even more messed up.
Wait a minute. I thought the point guard was the one who like dunks. And
No,
gets in
that's
there.
the center.
That doesn't make any sense anywhere.
So this kind of shows that when they came up with this idea, I was like, really?
We are not familiar with sports.
So
I'm maintaining my list.
I'm maintaining my list too, but it's now super messed up.
So my first thief juggler person is the Marvel character Black Cat.
Okay.
So it's like
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah. So she also gives this aura of bad luck to the other person. So when she's guarding them, they're gonna lose the ball when they're dribbling it and whatever. So, but it's almost a normal character, a normal person character.
She is. She doesn't have any powers.
Right. Well, she's a good thief.
Yeah. But through like hard work and like talent.
Yeah. So that's who my point guard is she's going to be dribbling. She's going to be passing it. She's got great hands. She has great mobility and she's very nimble. And so I want her to be the one that passes the ball.
Does she actually have no powers like Catwoman?
She has an aura where she causes people around her to have bad luck.
Sorry, I cannot tell if you're talking about her aura as in like she's got good aura points or if she actually has an ability.
I would say in a lot of cases she's at least perceived not to have.
Right.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So
she's
not like a domino.
She's the Marvel equivalent of Catwoman.
Okay. Yeah, so she,
Just talented.
Very athletic.
Cool.
Right?
I like that. That's a fun start. Also, I think Nick and I's lists are slightly messed up now.
I think we needed to like clarify, like write it down.
I agree. We're like, okay, these are the roles, and Nick and I went, okay.
We'll take it to heart.
All right, Nick, we'll have you go next.
So my point guard, which I just found out is my most agile and quick character, will obviously be Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
That's awesome.
He is 9'2". As we know, most traditional basketball hoops are 10 feet tall. So he'll steal the ball while it's in the midair most of the time.
That's awesome.
I'll read you his resume really quick.
Oh my god.
He's basically the Lord of the Rings equivalent of Lucifer. He fell from heaven, took over the Middle Earth, and just became a really bad guy.
Right.
And had to be beaten by basically another really tall dude. And then eventually by a really short dude.
Yeah.
So I felt like there was a lot of he was made for basketball, to be honest. I think this whole orc army trying to like take over, like rule the shadows of Middle Earth. I feel like that wasn't his real calling, as we can see, because it didn't succeed. If he hooped, that would have been a different story.
I thought you were gonna say he's taking over Middle Earth so he can set up just swaths of basketball like courts so we can find the best hooper.
There's a reason why he left Hobbiton alone for so long.
Right.
Because it was no competition. There would be no point.
Yeah.
You know who he targeted first? Elves and
Elves,
man.
yeah.
Elves and man. I'm telling you. He's got the instincts were there. Okay?
Oh my gosh. Do you have a code that you're like helping you decide what characters kind of fit in here?
It's mainly vibes based.
Okay.
And how I would love to see them team up, all three of my people, and how they probably would like not like each other's existences. Like fundamental like moral issues.
Okay.
But like in my heart I'm like, but they're gonna play ball together.
But they're like, but we have to.
Yeah. So that's my point guard, 9'2", basically just metal monster.
Okay, all right. So I have my phone here so I can read this. Before this,
Yeah.
had an idea for a team, and I was going to put Medusa from Soul Eater in the center of it. But that didn't work out because I misremembered her abilities. She shoots out like arrows, and I for some reason thought that she could like use those arrows to manipulate like direction of things. But I had a kind of like a 4 tenets that I was looking for characters, which was ability or skill. So like, do they have something that would be interesting or good for a basketball team? What is the likelihood that they would play basketball?
Okay.
Would they be able to play on a team?
Like work well with others.
Yeah, like work well with others. I also had Darth Vader on this list. And
As part of your conditions?
well, like
It's like one talent, 2,
3 Darth Vader.
3 Darth Vader.
Yeah, well, I'm more of like, I think it would be so interesting to see Darth Vader try to play basketball. But I don't think he would play well with others on the team.
Crush the basketball.
And also he would just like slow walk.
He could not really catch anyone, and he'd be like breathing heavy the whole time.
Exactly. So I took that out. And then the fourth thing was how would this be for like a spectator sport? And so that's how I took out like a lot of the speedsters. I took out like Doctor Strange, who would just like your hoop is now sending into my hoop. Or reverse that, whatever. So I kind of wanted that. And then my whole thing got messed up.
Like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. I was like, I was searching so desperately because I remembered so vividly that Medusa did it. And I couldn't find anything about it. So I'm just misremembering it. There are other characters out there. I just can't think of them right now. I know that Demon Slayer has a character that does something similar with arrows, the kind of invisible arrows on the ground. But again, it wasn't like as interesting, and a lot of the like commentary on Demon Slayer is like a lot of things aren't real. Like it's partially the show itself dramatizing what's happening, and whatever. So my point guard, who again I thought needed to be a super tall person, who to like block shots and dunk or whatever, is the character Slender Man from the hit series game Slenderman.
Nice.
If you're unfamiliar, he is some sort of cryptid horror creature.
He's like a faceless guy in a suit.
Yeah, he's like white, like we're white,
Like
but he's
bed sheet white.
Yeah. He doesn't have a face. He wears a suit, and he's like super tall and lanky. Like he's super skinny, but he's got like really long arms. He's super tall.
So I'd like to give you a basketball reference, but it would fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
Probably.
Throw it out there anyways for the fans, just in
Manute
case.
Bol is a African player who was 7'6", 7'7".
Yeah.
He had a wingspan that was like 9 feet
Yeah.
from fingertip to fingertip.
Yeah, like think about that, but just a super white, faceless person
In a business suit.
in a business suit the whole time. Now, you may be wondering, Slenderman doesn't move very fast in the games. He doesn't need to.
He does not move quickly, no.
I was just going to leave him by our hoop to block shots.
do
in.
Well, okay.
As apparently the new role of the point guard.
So most centers are not big runners. They are usually.
So we had the right.
Yeah, we
call.
had the right
idea.
idea, just in the wrong spot.
Wrong
Okay.
position.
All right, well then maybe he's my center and I'll do my point guard.
I'm keeping my point guard as is. I think Sauron can live up. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you believe in him.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm now realizing my knowledge of basketball super bad.
I think I know what the shooter does, though.
Yeah.
So,
But please tell me that the shooter like takes 3-point shots, right?
Well, okay.
Oh
so-
no.
No, he does. He does. But so when you think about a basketball, there's 5 positions
Okay.
Yeah.
normally. You have a point guard, okay,
Yes.
which is the one that distributes. You have a shooting guard, which is usually the second shortest person and is usually doing outside shots. Then you have a small forward, which is a guy that's somewhere between he's like the middle height, but he basically is taking shots that are between the 3-point and outside the lane. So they're taking mid-range shots.
Is a small forward, is that an adjective for his stature?
No, it's just his position.
Oh,
And then you have a power forward, which is one that's usually shooting from the sides. Pretty big guy, but he's also defensively he'll be inside and outside.
Okay.
And then you have the center, who's in the center of all 5 of these, keeping people out of the lane and blocking and doing that. Usually the tallest, biggest guy.
Got you.
Shaq O'Neal
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
was
yeah.
the center.
Hey, we know.
Yo,
we know that
DJ
guy.
Diesel.
So that's the role of a center. So it probably messes up how you pick
Yeah,
it.
a little bit. That's okay.
It's a fun little thing.
Yeah.
Well, the 3-on-3 doesn't really follow that convention.
It's true.
It's like more like Olympic / streets rules,
Yeah,
right?
it's more nebulous because basically you have usually 3 guys that are somewhere between small forward and power forward height. They're more athletic, more like a shooting guard athletic.
Yeah.
They can do ball handling, but 3-on-3 is really about passing and getting it down and running and whatever. So
Nice. All right. Now that we have a little bit more basketball knowledge, I think
and hopefully you do too.
Yeah.
And we have just made ourselves look like a fool.
no, just uninformed.
I don't think that helps. I think we're gonna I think I need more drink.
Yeah.
So we're gonna switch to drink number 2, and when we'll be back, we'll be talking about either our centers or
Someone else.
maybe something else. We'll see you in a little bit. And we're back, and this time we've got a very different looking drink in front of us.
Yes, I'm always trying to make sure that all the drinks look somewhat unique and different, and are unique and different. There's been times in the past where all of them are sort of just one color. They might taste different, but they're not. So I'm making sure that they aren't now. This one should be a familiar, opaque texture that you can see from a mile away.
Yes.
But it is obviously a bloody something, but it is a Bloody Maria or Marina. I've seen 2, which is basically just a Bloody Mary with tequila instead of vodka. And I thought it was fitting and wanting to try it with the ghost pepper version of it.
It looks good. We have been to a lot of food shows just because of what we do, and we've tried a lot of Bloody Mary mix.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to try this one.
And the unique thing with this one is we didn't have to add any hot sauce because
It's
we're
true.
counting on, although we hadn't tasted it, we're counting on the smoked ghost pepper to really bring out the spice.
Yeah, there's still horseradish in here,
Yeah.
so it should still have that flavor to it.
Clear the nose.
Yeah. A garnish would be nice. Like I think a stalk of celery would be cool.
Oh, I had celery, so.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. Either way,
I think the other thing is while it was sitting here, it was kind of like separating a little bit.
I think that's what you're looking for.
So yeah, maybe that's something we're looking for.
I have no idea.
All right.
First Bloody
cheers,
Mary.
team.
Cheers.
I feel like that's just good. That's like a Bloody Mary. I do feel like you could have added some hot sauce in here, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like
I probably
make-
could have.
make it a little spicier, but honestly, like it's like an easygoing Bloody Mary. Like I
Yeah.
can just down this.
The horseradish is very present,
Yeah, I might have put too much in.
but I like horseradish. I'm not a big Bloody Mary fan. So the tomato juice, and I used V8. I got V8 for this instead of tomato juice.
Yeah,
Is not as forward as a lot of Bloody Marys are. So
Yeah.
I like this better than a Bloody Mary.
I mean this is really easy to drink, to be honest.
Yeah.
But as you drink it,
You can feel
you
it.
can feel that
Yeah.
ghost pepper in the back of your throat again.
It's fascinating. Both these drinks, I don't think I've been really able to identify the taste specifically of the tequila and what it has, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
And I think that's exciting because it gives a new layer.
Yeah,
No matter what you add with it.
I agree. I mean, there's a lot of times when you drink a tequila drink, you're going, okay, I'm drinking tequila here.
Yeah. Which,
There's good and bad to
hit or
that.
miss on what you're looking for that night.
But
I was about to say, I think this is an alcohol that I like want to experiment more with. Like I do think that it has such like different and unique elements to it.
When looking up cocktails, I was looking up like standard tequila ones.
Yeah.
But also I was looking for mezcal cocktails with it as well because the smoked part, the sort of like bite that it has could work with it. I found some really interesting ones. I was bouncing them off. I was like, I could do like a spicy Paloma. I would like to see what a tequila sunrise does with this.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And stuff like
True.
that. I wanted to maybe
That'll wake you up.
yeah, and seeing how much like spice it actually has, and then trying to match it with the fruitiness.
I think the tequila sunrise would be awesome in this because I'm imagining the sharpness of the pineapple. Then you have the acidity of the orange juice. You're getting that tequila kick in there.
Yeah.
And then you get that smoky ghost pepper on the back, which is, yeah. So this is good. I actually like it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
This is a good.
I know you guys are more Bloody Mary.
Yeah. Which is weird. I don't know why I like them, but I enjoy it, and this is really good. It goes down really easily.
But yeah, I could. It could have done with the Tabasco and all that other stuff.
I think so too. All right. Well, that being said, Nick, why don't you kick us off here?
Yeah, so obviously my center being the largest and strongest and the bulkiest one will be Aang from the Avatar series. You good?
Yeah,
As our
fine.
father is dying.
The Avatar: The Last Airbender series,
Yes.
obviously Aang was going to be my point guard, or was my center, but should have been my point guard, I think is what I'm understanding. Because from my point of view, it feels like the role of the point guard is also like a decider, right? Like they are the ones like who to like prioritize where the ball goes and like controlling it, right? Like it's all about the movement and the control and like making sure the ball goes where you want it to.
Yeah, they're considered the coach on the court.
Yeah, and you're looking forward to it. And I think
Oh no.
I thought Aang was perfect for it, not only because at this point I think Aang is very rational and has a really good head on his shoulders, and I wasn't actually taking into account his bending at all
Oh really?
because he's trained in martial arts.
yeah.
And we've seen what happens. Like he can keep things away from people really well.
Yeah.
Like we've seen him do like the whole like hands on the back, and like they can never look at him sort of thing, right? Like when he's like toying with Zuko, where he's just like holding his hands out onto Zuko's back, and like Zuko can never look at him.
Yeah, he's like spinning around trying to get him, and Aang's just like positioning himself perfectly.
Yeah, I feel like Aang is so flighty. But now he's my center, which now we bring in the bending and...
Well, yeah, I was thinking about having a bender, whether it's Korra or Aang, just because I feel like having access to all of the elements is crazy. Yeah. Air in particular, I feel like is
crazy,
insane here. But even that, like in the Legend of Korra universe, which is like just the After the Last Airbender universe later, they have a sport. It's not basketball at all.
It's a weird like disc game.
Yeah, it's like frisbee if you wanted your opponent to catch a
it's like Tron.
Chunk of it's
like
basically Tron. Chunk of rock instead of actually throwing it to them.
Yeah. But yeah, Aang. I'd also just love to see him just interact with Sauron. I think they would hate each other's guts. Or I think Aang would be like, "Oh, hey, whoa, you're like a kind of cool guy," and Sauron would be like, "You are like a stain of the world." Yeah. Which I would love to see them work together in many ways, especially since Sauron is my point guard and Aang is my center. That means Sauron's giving out the orders and Aang is like, "I got to do it."
That makes me feel worse that you said that the point guard is the coach on the court, because I don't think Slutterman talks or can talk.
He can learn sign language. It would be kind of sick. I'm not going to lie.
He's like, play two. He just goes like two.
Yeah.
That's the play they run him.
To me, to you.
And unfortunately, my next pick does not help this. So even if I wanted to switch Slenderman to being the center, which is where he probably should be, and then this next pick into the point guard, you'll see in a second why it doesn't.
Is the whole team dynamics like?
Oh yeah,
kind of put in the back pocket.
It's so good. Okay. So we've all seen Air Bud, right? The
dog,
the movie where a dog learns how to play basketball and is really good at it for some reason.
Football.
No, it's.
There's multiple. There's like a whole. This dog can do everything. Actually, I don't.
The original Air Bud was basketball.
I don't even know if it's the same dog in all of these.
I know there's Air Buddies, which are the litter.
Oh yeah, there's like little ones. Yeah. So we've all seen this movie, right? A dog can be awesome at basketball, and what's better than a dog? A cosmic space dog. And you might be thinking, oh, like Cosmo, and no. I'm talking about the goodest boy from a series called Risk of Rain. I'm talking about Acrid.
What is this?
You're just non-verbal team? Just a bunch of monsters? Who's going to do spit on them?
Acrid is... Oh, man, I wish I had the lore to pull it up right now. Acrid is so in the lore of Risk of Rain, you are survivors of a crash, most of them, on this planet. And it's a roguelike. You're basically like fighting through waves of enemies to either like obliterate into nothingness or fight this guy Mithrix in the base Risk of Rain 2. You can find Acrid, which is just this alien creature
Thing.
Yeah.
He's got 4 appendages, so you could call him a dog.
I think Acrid is actually a she.
I am not familiar with the lore, so that's totally like fine.
But yeah, Acrid like spits poison and venom and looks very faintly like a dog kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you built this up like dogs. I didn't.
It's because everyone I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, Acrid, the dog of Risk of Rain.
I haven't made that comparison yet.
But anyways, yeah, I didn't realize the team dynamic might be struggling here as pretty sure Acrid doesn't speak either.
No.
Just kind of makes weird alien like calls.
Well, you have a more flexible team,
right? Yeah,
everyone plays every position.
But I mean, the good things about Acrid, besides the fact that Acrid shoots like poison and stuff, is it's got a great jump game, leaps really far, and I think that will help with dunking potentially, or just jumping from one side of the court to the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Dad.
That's
what
great.
about you?
Who is your center?
So my center is someone that has to be able to take. So when you are underneath the basket, there's a lot of bumping, elbowing. You're body to body. You're pushing in, trying to get close to the basket to dunk it, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought I needed someone really strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I thought I would think outside the box of someone really strong. So Jessica Jones from Marvel.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought, she's super strong, but she's small, so people are going to underestimate how strong she is.
Right.
She is unfortunately like short.
She's fairly small, but
Yeah.
she's very strong.
Sorry, by the time we came back to you, I forgot that you were like you had a full
Marvel
theme,
like women.
Female Marvel
versus
character.
Nick and I, who are putting together a hodgepodge. Me even more so.
Yeah.
And Nick just, I want to see the chaos.
I want to see the chaos.
So I'm like I said, once again, this is a character that is closer to normal than kind of superhero kind of. And so I really wanted to do it, but I also wanted these characters as they work together to get better as they work together. So I'm building a team from the beginning and letting them grow into these positions.
You're like this will be a story that happens where they all end up on a basketball team not knowing that they have superpowers and then developing this cool like alternate universe where they start fighting crime and then also hoop on like in their free time.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they're also a cool basketball team.
This basketball team fights to bat. Although I'm not sure that Black Cat's both good and bad.
I was like, I don't know how much of a team player she would be in this situation.
Yeah.
Actually, I
As
don't
long
even
as-
know how much of a team player Jessica Jones is.
You've
either.
chosen 2 like reclusive characters.
Yes, I have. The third one's going to bring them together.
Oh, okay. We got are the shooter's the charismatic one.
As always.
The like
Is that the trope that the shooter is the charismatic
Yeah,
one?
so do you think of like LeBron James? You
Yeah.
think of Steph Curry?
Oh, okay.
You think of Michael Jordan? Those are all shooting guards.
I guess those are also like the really famous people.
Right, because they're scoring.
they're the
that's-
spotlight.
Oh, okay.
Right. So when you think of a point guard like Steve Nash, who is the coach of the Golden State Warriors,
Yeah.
he was kind of a point guard, right?
Yes.
Not Steve Nash. Steve Nash was a point guard. He was another thing, but
You can say any name to us.
Yeah, I know.
We
We'll
with you.
agree.
but,
You're doing a
there-
great job.
But there's these guys that are point guards that are considered kind of, they don't score a lot. They get assists, which no one really, they look at it as, okay, that's a complimentary player.
Right.
Right. The center used to get a lot of attention, but because there's so much shooting outside the 3-point range, and the center doesn't normally do that. Their hands are too big. They're not dribbling the ball. It's not the thing.
Their hands are too big.
their
That's
hands
the
are
thing.
So when you have to shoot a 3-point shot, you have to get fingers on the ball and shoot it. And when you have really big hands, it's hard to get the control of the ball.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's insane to think about.
Yeah, I mean, so but if you're getting a ball and you're dunking it, you have complete control over the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the difference between you grabbing a baseball or you grabbing a softball. Think about how much control you have over a baseball as compared to
A softball because
Softball.
it's so much bigger.
yeah.
So true.
This is turning into like an explain it to me episode of just basketball
With like
edition.
fun little stuff happening around it, which I think is fine. I think it.
Yeah, I mean, I love the centers. These are the people that I love to
Oh,
watch.
okay.
Okay.
There used to be a guy.
Wait. Can I ask you why you love them?
I love the physical inside game, which is crazy. So
I was like, what?
out of the three, so me and Steve, my brother, used to go and play basketball after we got done working at Baskin Robbins. So it'd be midnight and we would be hitting the courts playing basketball.
Just like 1-on-1?
No, it'd be 5-on-5.
Wait, I'm sorry. There's a like
Just people show up.
there are 10 people in the court at midnight.
There's usually 12 or 15 and you're doing pickups.
Oh, you're like kicking people out. You're like,
No,
oh, you're
you-
not good enough to play with us.
You're rotating.
You're rotating. So the
Oh.
5 people that lose get off, and the next guy. So you have someone come up and says, "We got next." So there'll be 3 of them, and they'll pull 2 people off the losing team to play. Whoever wants to play, and there's people rotating in and out. And we would play till 1 or 2 in
Okay.
the morning, and Steve, who is 6'4",
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
he loved the outside. So he would do 3-point shots all the time. Me,
Let's go.
I'm inside. I'm bumping. I'm grinding. I'm elbowing, and I'm getting rebounds and whatever. So it was really, it's just what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so the other part of this is that there's a lot of trash talking in the center.
Oh, okay.
So Jessica Jones would be perfect for the trash talking as the center.
Wait, I love Aang as the center.
Yeah.
I'm so content with my. I'm glad I switched. I don't think Sauron ever trash talks. He's just too arrogant to.
I'm glad Akrid's my center. The trash talk is just spitting venom.
He
Literal
spits
venom.
actual poison.
The actual venom, yes.
Wow. Yeah. That's really interesting. It's hard to imagine you, like, trash talking, if I'm going to be honest.
I did not do a lot of trash talking except for. Did you see that? Did you see that? Because I would be bumping into him and they'd be like
Yeah.
trying to bump back, and all of a sudden I just
Yeah.
lay up in, and they'd be like, "What?"
Yeah, you're like, all right, enough talking. Let's.
And so most of these guys. So this was at the University of Virginia. So it was a place called the Dell, and most of the guys that were playing there were in their early 20s. And Steve and I were 17, 16, 18, 17, right around that age. We're 1 year apart. So
Yeah.
we were still in high school. So we were definitely out. I mean, there were some guys in their late 20s.
Oh, this is so old.
Well, compared to us, right?
Yeah.
These are grown men. And then the UVA basketball players would come out there also.
At
Sure.
like midnight. Wait,
Yeah.
This is like a poppin' area.
They kind of shut it down.
I can imagine.
They shut it down a few years ago because one of the shooting guards for UVA was out there, and he got hurt because it was not. There weren't a lot of fouls called.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like get up.
It's a loose game.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
So, but for the basketball players, they loved going out there
Yeah.
and just balling for fun because they weren't doing drills, they weren't doing runs.
Yeah.
It was them just showing their talent. And these guys were as tall as me, like some of the shorter basketball players are as tall as me, but they were 100 times better than me.
Right.
They were just running circles around us, and they were out there just having a good time. And that's what it was. It was a lot of us just having a good time out there playing.
I think you'd really enjoy Ted Lasso. If you get a chance to watch Ted Lasso, there is a scene in the show where and this is soccer, football, where one of the players is not doing well. He's struggling, and one of the coaches takes him to like a suburb, like an area in London, and he makes him play pickup soccer with these random people. And this player is like, bro, what are you talking about? I'm on a professional soccer team. Like, I'm not going to play with these people. Like, come on. I'm way better than this. And this, like, one girl, like, steals from him. And he's like, oh, no. And he gets so into it. And at the end of it, he's, like, back in love with soccer because he's just having fun.
Yep.
On the field. And that's kind of like exactly what I'm imagining here. So it is kind of sad that one of the players got hurt while like they were just trying to have fun, blow off some steam, enjoy like the love of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that these guys, they needed a break at midnight or 1 o'clock. Usually they're done with their study sessions and whatever, because they are students,
right?
And so it just was, and it was really a combination of locals and college students, and it was just a lot of fun.
Which begs the question here: do you think Faker plays ARAM to blow off steam?
Weird transition. I'm pretty sure it's like Faker doesn't have hobbies.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is like not saying that he has to have hobbies, but like I'm thinking like. I don't know. I'm thinking like professional level players, like Faker, the best or like the most recognizable League of Legends players in the world.
Yeah.
Do you think that he plays like ARAM or just like?
I'd like to think he does.
Yeah, just to blow off steam and be like, this is why I started playing League of Legends.
It's like fun here. Simple playing gun game. You're like, okay, well,
yeah,
you just doing whatever.
I'm thinking like. Oh, I was about to. I don't know any NFL players, but like Travis Kelce, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that like he goes out and have fun with like football? I don't even think there's like pickup football games.
There's not pickup football games, but you know what these guys do? They get online and they play Madden against regular guys, right? And they love playing that game.
And then they're getting smoked by like a 12-year-old who has like 16 hours to play.
Look at this Kelsey character. I can make him do anything. And he's sitting there going, yeah, he can, So, but because we talked about this, is that these NFL players and the NBA players, they're really protective of their virtual selves in these games, because I see like receivers tweeting out, no, I'm not an 89, I'm a 90 when it comes to speed.
Well, I think like it's kind of weird with this where you are giving a real person real stat numbers.
Yeah.
And so I think a part of me, if I was in that position, would be like, come on, you think my speed is a 6? Like
that guy over there is faster than me?
Yeah, exactly.
No. We'll race right now, and you better change it.
Exactly.
Well, there was one receiver that said that I should have the highest number, and I'll race any other receiver
there you go.
to prove it.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you got to have that energy.
And I think that when they go, it's funny because like a receiver against a safety, they'll talk about how they beat each other in Madden.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And so it's one of those crazy things.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing about that is like when patches happen, like the meta changes, like who's good changes. So you can, in a way, have that kind of influence of being like, hey, I think I should be better.
Well, so here's the other part of this, and this is the bad part of the mortality of it. Suppose you're a top player. A couple years later, you're number 20 or 30 on the list.
Sure. And
then you start going, the end of my career is coming.
Yeah.
So these guys, they take that very seriously,
It's true, but they also are like walking with like $400 million and they can go live in their mansion.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Just getting set up for life.
Yeah. Some of them do. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, you got to be smart with the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, team. Wow, Nick, you finished your drink.
Ding, ding. I really liked it.
I think this is good. I haven't finished mine yet, but I think we're going to switch to a new drink and close out our wonky
Our perfect
teams.
teams.
We'll see you in a second. And we're back, and we have 3 extraordinary looking drinks. I almost said dishes. Like we're back on like we're back on Chopped. Holy cow, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
Where am I?
Back on Chopped. Chefs, please step forward with your
Yeah,
dishes.
please step forward with your dishes. This looks very different than the other 2 drinks that we had here. And I like the choice of glass as well.
It looks refreshing.
It does.
Yeah.
So we talked about this briefly when I was saying that there were options for tequila cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to put in a more fruity option. I wanted to see what a more refreshing drink would do with this tequila.
I kind of like that we're ending with the refreshing one.
That's what I'm hoping. It should be the lightest of them.
Okay.
The margarita is also really light.
Yeah.
But this one should be pretty good. This is the El Diablo. I thought it was also fitting with the name.
Yeah.
But it I don't exactly know why it's called that, because the recipe is tequila, creme de cassis,
yeah.
which is just
Don't look to him for how to pronounce
Wait a
that.
minute. Wait, I have the best language skills.
I'm just double checking. Which is a black currant liqueur. Unfortunately, it is a special order, and our local ABC store did not have it, so we picked up a black raspberry liqueur.
Yeah, black raspberry liqueur.
Which should have a similar effect. And then lime juice, and topped off with ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
So it should have it's a sparkling drink.
Okay. Interesting.
So it should be refreshing.
It should be refreshing. That is the intention.
I don't even know what to expect what this will taste like.
Yeah.
So may as well just jump in here.
Dun-dun.
Ding.
Unfortunately, when I saw black raspberry, I kept thinking blue raspberry, like Kool-Aid.
No.
That is not the case. I hope not.
No.
We're about to find out.
So the ginger beer is kind of the first thing you taste.
I agree.
It's very apparent.
And then
It's actually like the most I taste.
Yeah.
And then you get that ghost pepper at the end.
Once again, you feel it more than you taste it.
And I don't taste the tequila very strongly in here.
It's really easy to drink.
It is very easy to drink. And I think the black raspberry worked okay.
I think so too. Yeah. Then this is a fruity drink. It's got the ginger beer that kind of hits you in the beginning there. It stays in your mouth. And then still this tequila. Like the very back of my throat, kind of up here as well. I'm really feeling it.
And the black raspberry is very mild.
Yeah.
I would order this at a bar. Yeah.
I am so surprised about how much that ghost pepper comes out.
It's so fun. I really like it.
Yeah.
This is a fun drink.
That's a fun one.
It's a very different one.
Good choice. All around. Great choices. Great job, Nick. You made all these drinks very different.
Woo-woo.
Woo-woo. All right.
And
Yeah.
here's what's amazing about that. So the first couple of times we did this, we kind of tasted beforehand
Yeah. Some aspect of it.
some aspect of it, either the beer or whatever. In these last few episodes, we've said, look, we're not going to taste it at all. We're going to let it just go. You're basically creating these blind from a taste standpoint.
From a taste standpoint, I'm like following recipes as closely as I can.
But still,
Yeah.
you're picking really good recipes.
I read it and I'm like, does that sound good?
Yeah.
You know, and I can trust my taste buds. That's one of the few things. I think my palate might not be the most sophisticated, but like for like just a good drink, I think I can do that.
So I always equate this to me cooking a meat dish for you guys.
Yeah. That's fair.
Why is it the same?
Because I'd have no idea what it tastes like.
He doesn't taste the meat.
He's saying like he doesn't taste it beforehand is what you're equating.
Yeah.
It to.
Yeah.
But I feel like that is the unfortunate thing is like you're cooking meat and you're like, well, I hope I did well. Maybe they'll enjoy it. This is Nick goes, well, I hope I made a good job. And then we all get to enjoy it together.
Yeah. It's also like, I think I might enjoy that. Like I'm looking forward to making it and drinking it.
Yeah. All right. I think you go first this time.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Who's
here.
your shooter?
Yeah. Just as a reminder, in case you've gotten lost in what this team composition looks like here, we've got Slenderman, the character from the horror game Slenderman, as my point guard. We have Acrid from the Risk of Rain 2 game. And then to close it out Acrid's my center. To close it out, for my team, my shooter, the one who's going to be dropping dimes, dropping buckets. It's none other than Olimar from the Pikmin series, or really what I know Olimar most from, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
I'm sorry. I'm going to quickly
Or
clarify.
just Super Smash Brothers series. Yeah,
Are
what's
you
up?
familiar with the height of Olimar?
Yeah, he's like tiny, right?
He is half the width of a iPod.
Wait, I didn't realize he was that small. Wait, no, it's fine. I'm keeping it.
So like an iPod laying down, he's half of that size.
Yeah. We'll say from the Super Smash Brothers series where he's like the size of, he's like short, but he's not that small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just got to clarify.
Yeah.
He's
dang, I didn't realize he was that tiny.
tiny.
Here's my basketball.
Hey, I mean, he's
Yeah.
picking up those Pikmin. Those guys are heavy. And that's what I'm saying.
Another nonverbal character. He has a mouth and vocal cords, but I don't think he's ever used them in his life.
It's a Nintendo game. Why would he? Yeah, and like if you see Olimar, he's just picking up Pikmin, throwing them, snipes for days. Like he also can use them to fly a little higher if he needs like to just start more.
He will need that height.
Yeah.
He will need that height.
And yeah, I just think Olimar uncontested in like a 3-point shootout, winning every day.
I don't.
Yeah, look, Caitlin Clark, Steph Curry, step up.
Olimar.
Olimar.
The world will know his name. What
The
a
shooter.
what a You have like two horrifying like monsters that are like more than willing to like rip you limb from limb, and then you have Olimar who like awkwardly walks because he's in a spaceman outfit.
Yeah, and he's like farming alien plant creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the theme for yours again?
A cohesive team? How are they friends?
Look, they don't need to talk. They just need to play ball.
They can't talk.
Yeah, I'm paying them enough to not think about it. They just need to score points.
I don't know if your like conditions really match what you've drafted.
This is what I'm saying. Is, to be honest, I had a team drafted up with Medusa being the center point here, back when I thought the center meant something totally different.
Yeah.
And that went out the window, and I pivoted, and those tenants no longer there. They fell to the wayside. And instead I thought just about skill and ability and what would make an interesting team.
I'd watch them.
I'd
Yeah,
watch them too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what as a fan of spectator sports, as a fan of esports, of like broadcast and production, what a nightmare it would be.
We didn't talk about this, but I want to challenge you and you start thinking about this too.
Oh.
If they had a team name. And I'll think about mine as well.
Oh my god.
If Acrid, Slenderman, and Olimar joined up and we're like, we're entering as this team.
Yeah.
Instinct, quick.
quick. Creepy Flowers is my
The creepy flowers. Perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect.
or
I have no imagination. You know I can't do this.
Marvel Women.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Anyways.
Well, you're going next.
Okay.
So.
All right. So, once again, going back to the female Marvel characters that are not greatly known, I'm going to say the name and then let's see if you guys know who she is. Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
Yep.
She is the Hawkeye character.
Yeah.
The next Hawkeye character. And I thought she can throw knives, she can throw whatever, and she would be able to get into the basket.
She's got the accuracy.
She's got the accuracy to do that. Plus, she's young. The three women together would be able to grow together, get better together. So, and once again, going back to kind of a common day person, a normal person that doesn't really have superhuman powers, but has great ability.
Yeah.
It's true. Of like Marvel superheroes in general, you did choose 3 that are like fairly like low to the ground. Jessica Jones is like superhuman.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like the other 2 are basically just human.
Just human. I wanted the team to be relatable and not be,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, we talked about this. I had a really tough time figuring out what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining now putting that team up against my monstrosity that I've put together.
I think both teams wouldn't care. They would be like, we're here to win. And that's like it.
I think those 3 women would be very ferocious.
Yeah.
They would be.
They're all fairly competitive and don't want to lose.
They don't want to lose. Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
your team just acts on instinct
Yeah.
or something. like they just are like instinct to ball or something.
So now I got to figure out the name.
I'd have to Pavlov them. Like, you score a basket, you get like a little bit of food.
A treat?
Yeah, you get a treat. Here's Slenderman. Here's a fresh sacrifice for you.
Here's another girl collecting papers.
Yeah, true. I forgot the main purpose of that game is to go collect like journal
8
papers.
pages.
Yeah.
8 pages.
Holy cow, that game came out so long ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think about. Yeah. What? I feel like you could go for like a normal name.
Yeah. It could be like the Wildcats or something like that.
Like from High School Musical?
That's what I was.
Yeah.
Dad, have you been watching High School Musical lately?
I haven't seen High School Musical in 12 years, 14 years, something like that.
I feel like you could go with like
Gotta fix
But see,
that.
so there's also a Goldie Hawn film where she's a coach of a football team.
and they're called the Wildcats.
They're called the Wildcats also.
I mean,
I'm
Could
trying
be
to.
Thundercats.
oh,
Thundercats.
honestly, I feel like some of them are nerdy. They could probably do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like Jessica Jones, Kate Bishop. They just like use their names, right?
Yeah.
Black Cat. You've got Black Cat is the only thing.
Her name's Felicity.
Felicity something.
Yeah, I don't remember her last name.
Also, it's interesting. I feel like these characters are relatively not mainstream, but you also chose 2 characters that have like TV series.
Yeah, I mean, I think that does influence it because Jessica Jones, I really liked. I liked her series
Yeah.
on Netflix. Okay, I thought her series was okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but when she played with,
Daredevil.
there
was
was
it Luke Cage Daredevil?
Luke
Cage,
She
Iron
she
Fist?
did Luke Cage, and then she did the one with the Defenders.
Defenders.
Which